Hi, and welcome to the Expansive Podcast, a space where we talk about how to be more expansive in your business and in your life. My name is Erik. I'm one half of the Expansive Podcast. I'm always joined for the past 250 plus episodes, the past 10,000 minutes of audio recorded by my ever elegant co-host, Mr. John Sanei. John sitting in Cape Town today in what looks like some sort of a institution or prison
Yes,
cell.
I've finally been. No, I mean, I've been admitted to a mental asylum. They've allowed me to record this on my break between all the before the medication kicks in, and I'm put into a comatose. That's me coming in from Tara, from Johannesburg. Tara, remember? That's what I used to mock kids at
Tara
school.
very
You
well,
got it,
yeah.
Tara. Yeah. How bad? Bless everybody in Tara. Nice to be here. I'm in Cape Town. My hotel room's background is boring. Yes, I know. But at least we got a recording happening. There's been a lot of movement for both of us over the last couple of weeks. We haven't really gotten to record. So wonderful to be here with you again, and always good to be connecting and chatting about how to be more expansive. So what's the topic today, Erik?
Well, before we get to that, I wanted to quickly just mention that you are now in Cape Town for a little bit. And one of the things that we've seen is people asking you if you're going to be doing a public event, because obviously, like most of the talks we do happens behind closed doors. And it's been quite cool to see people asking, can they catch you anywhere? And so you've decided to create an event for that. And it's kind of up in the air at the moment. I think is the date confirmed?
Yeah, we're 99% confirmed. Okay. It's Monday, the 18th of August, in Cape Town at the Century City Convention Center. We are selling tickets, which all the proceeds go to Woodrock Animal Rescue. And right now, it looks like it's starting at 6:30. Keynote starts at around 7 for 90 minutes. We do a Q&A. I'll be talking about how to prepare for the future, but I'll also be introducing everybody to Rover House and explaining new business models that are emerging in the world that people need to keep aware of. And so we'll start marketing that hopefully in the next day or two, so that we can get some traction and get some sales. So yes, thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
But it will be going live on socials in the next couple of days.
All right. So everyone make sure to check that out, and it'll be cool to catch John. Like I was saying, you don't get to see it live. So unless you are in an organization that's paid a lot of money to bring him in.
And thank you for agreeing to be the MC and the intro. So I appreciate that. Always good to have you there.
I thought I'm delivering a keynote.
I thought I'm doing it's a mini one. You're doing a mini keynote in the front. So I'm going to give you the notes. It says, hello, my name's Erik, and I will be introducing John Sanei. That's your keynote. You can say you shared the stage with John Sanei. You can put it on your website.
Can't wait.
Yeah, well done. You finally got yourself to the space, Erik. How does it feel? Yes, how does it feel? Welcome. Who would you like to thank at this stage of your life?
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
It's for the dogs, bro. It's for the dogs.
Dude, I'm there. Listen, so today's topic really is, we're a little bit late on this, to be honest, but it's still an episode that we wanted to do. So I think moving forward with the Expansive, we'll do birthday reflections every year. And this year was an important one for you because this year was the big 50. So what we wanted to do was to go through, what are the biggest things that you've learned in the past 50 years? Like, what have been some insights for you from those 50 years? So maybe you can just tell us.
I told you I hate questions like that, and I'm going to explain again why I hate questions like that. My least favorite question in the world is, well, tell us about your life, John. Tell us who you are. And, I don't often go on dates. Did you see that post I made about the effort I've been making for dates in 2025 where the guy does a high jump? It was one, I laughed out loud. The meme is this guy he's in the Olympics and he's going to go do a high jump. But as he gets to the high jump, he just doesn't do anything. He almost just like lies down on the cushion. And the line says, this is the amount of effort I've been putting into dating in 2025. And you can't believe how many people messaged me back. They were like laughing and said, yeah, me too. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what it is. Like such a mission dating, Anyway, like when you go on a date, and I'm very good on dates because I'm very inquisitive. I ask excellent questions. And usually what happens is the girl, 25 minutes into speaking about herself totally and consistently, says to me, whoa, all we do is speak about me. Can we speak about you a bit? I'm like, of course we can. What would you like to know? Please tell me about yourself. I was like, date's over. Give me the bill. I'm out of here. Shut up. What sort of lazy, dumb-ass question is that? Like, get out. No, I'm not answering that. So, Erik, I'm going to say to you as well, this date is going nowhere. I'm about to ask for the check.
No, don't worry. Check is not needed.
Okay, thank you.
I came prepared. So,
yeah, thank you.
Have you heard of the Wheel of Life?
I have not.
So the Wheel of Life is a coaching tool that people often use. And what's nice about it is that it kind of breaks your life up into the different areas of focus. And then you can really think about, like, how does it going on a scale of like 1 to 10 in these different areas of your life, and then kind of reflect on it. So I thought that's what we will do today, is I'll prompt you from the Wheel of Life on a few different areas of your life. And you can tell us what has been one of the most important things for you that has happened in that space, or an insight, or something that you are focusing on right now.
Sure.
So let's kick off with a very easy one, and let's talk about money. That would be the first one. So what has been a big insight for you around the topic of money in the past 50 years of your life?
I just want to say to everybody listening to the pod, this is so Erik. Erik works in secret, and then what he does is this is Erik. Like, as I get to know you more and more, he's such a chop. No, Erik the other week sends me Erik sends me this incredible piece of tech. Just last week, he sends me this piece of tech. I'm like, bro, this is amazing. Where'd you get it from? No, I made it. I'm like, you made it? When did you make this? No, I've been working on it for a while. You know, the type of person I am is the minute I get an idea, I'll tell my closest friends, and then I'll work and then explain the process that I'm having, because I love that sort of feedback loop and just the excitement of it. Erik is exactly the opposite. He works in secret, and then he launches it lastminute.com. And just this question that he asked, tell us about your 50th, he knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't doing this by mistake. This is Erik. He's always coming at an angle. Bastard. I actually like it. I just can't be like that. I've got a big mouth. I've got to be continuously speaking to people. Yeah. Anyway, money. Okay, topic of money. You know, I grew up with a single mom family, and money was always a challenge. And I see this in many, many people at the moment, is there's a limited mindset around how much money is available. I was actually talking to somebody the other day. I'd never met him before. I just, in passing, I met him. And we were talking about High Rocks, and High Rocks, this new workout, and we're just talking about certain things. He asked me how much something was 3 times in a very quick 5-minute conversation. He's like, but how much is that? And how much is that? And I could immediately see that he is positioning his life and the extent of what he can experience based on price, and blocking himself through that process. And for the longest time, this was me, because everything was determined on how much it would cost. And then I would allow myself to feel into that intention or the possibility of it based on the amount of money I had. Not, I could have free access to something. I could be invited to go and do something. I could find a special somewhere. I could get an incredible amount of money so that amount of money means nothing to me, blah, 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 a million things, right? So there's a lot of blockages that we all have when it comes to our thinking about money. And for me to have gotten over the blockage of that was a huge, huge shift in my life, because from 0 to 40, I lived with a dad that was very, very, very insecure about money, and still is to this day based on his upbringing. And then a mother that was a single mom family that was anxious about money, and bless her heart, because as a single mom, it's a very difficult thing to bring up 2 kids, especially 2 boys, with a secretary salary, which was, let me tell you, which was 850 Rand when we were growing up. Our rent was 275 Rand. Like, think about that. That is, I mean, bless my mom for all that work she did, but she imbued me with that level of anxiousness. So I then grew up with that same level of anxiousness around money. And when I divorced my ex-wife when I turned 40, I decided to really start to put effort into my relationship with money. And we've spoken about this on the pod before, but very quickly, what I learned from these courses that I did is that emotions around money are by far the most important thing, not the amount of hard work that you do, not your shrewdness, not your nothing. It's the emotions that you have around money. And the emotions I got taught were the emotions of joy. And the way the person broke down the emotions of joy was excitement, ease, and love. And excitement, ease, and love is really the emotional state that we need to have around anything that we want to bring into our lives, including money, relationships, jobs, work, whatever it may be. But if you then think about the emotional states that many of us have, it's not excitement, it's fear. It's not ease, it's anxiety. And it's not love, it's almost hatred. Hatred for people who have money, quietly thinking that people with money are thieves, or, they made their money in dodgy ways. These are the stories we tell ourselves to protect ourselves. That's what you're doing. You're practicing emotions for 30, 45 minutes, an hour a day.
And as you practice those emotions, they become your benchmark emotions. Now, with this exercise that I did, was really and quite literally practicing excitement, ease, and love.
Practicing it. Sitting there, feeling excited more money's coming in. Feeling at ease that more money's coming in. And being in love with money. Not in an evil way, and not in the way that religion has told us that money is all the root of all evil, but actually just saying thank you to money for giving me everything it's already given me, and also what it's going to give me, and to give the money direction. It's like, I actually want to earn you to do this with you. So come into my life so I can do this. It almost needs a container to go into. And so as I started to learn these skill sets at 50 years old, I've never had more money in my life. I've never been more at ease when it comes to money. And I'm excited for more of it to come. I'm happy to help people with it. I'm in a very different status when it comes to money. And the thing that it's really taught me is that if I could change my relationship to money, I can change my relationship to anything. And so at 50 years old, I feel richer and more at ease with the concept of money than ever before, and look forward to making a lot more of it when and how it needs to come into my life for the direction I give it.
Yeah, that's excellent. And if I have to reflect back to you, I think what that has done for the people around you, so how that's, for example, helped me, is to bring an awareness to this relationship. Because I think for a lot of us, we don't really think about how, the stories that we have around money or the relationship that we have to it. And so your journey with it definitely made me hyper aware of my journey and my relationship. And I think that's something that you do very well, is that you go into these arenas that are uncomfortable for people to talk about and to explore, and you kind of normalize it. And so, I think we speak about money a lot, and
yeah, we do.
It's not a conversation I have with almost anyone else, in the way that we speak about it. And we get very excited when big amounts come in, or we are able to charge more for, it feels weird to have that relation or that conversation with other people, but it's been so normalized for us when we speak about it. And that's helped me tremendously with my relationship with money as well.
Yeah.
So perfect. Thank you for that.
I'm so glad to hear that. I think that you're so right. When I went and did that Tantra thing, that 7 days in Costa Rica around sexuality, I also think I normalized sexuality for a lot of people. Even talking about that, people are like, you did what? You went where to do what? I'm like, it's a taboo subject that nobody talks about, but if you should talk about it, it releases all the pressure around it. You know what I mean? Because we're dealing with things in secret, and they're never really allowed to breathe. And so sexuality, money, and power are the three things that all of us desperately want more of, but are too scared to talk about it, and are sitting in our shadows in many times. And so even now with my new tattoo, and I've blackened my whole arm. If you're watching YouTube, you can see my arm is all black. I'm blackening my whole arm. And the reason I'm doing that is, and I'm saying it, is I'm bringing all my shadows to the surface. All my shadows are coming to the surface. It's time for me to expose my shadows to the world so they can breathe. And the physical manifestation of that is tattooing my left arm black as the shadow. Coming into real life and being okay with it. So yeah, I'm so excited about it.
Amazing. All right, so next one. Which one do I go with? It's like a roulette wheel that I get to spin. Let's go with fun and relaxation. Something on the total opposite end of the scale here. What if you?
I really don't know how to have fun. Yeah, I really don't know how to have fun. I grew up very early. At 8 years old, I became the man of the house. And without realizing it, the husband to my mother and a father to my brother, which have really made my relationship statuses very, very difficult. You sent me an amazing YouTube the other day talking about this. And the guy was describing this character in the world that's been hurt by his upbringing, and now has become this guy, and the guy's me. It's 100% me. Like like the way you were speaking about this guy's character is like hyper masculine, hyper driven, but doesn't know how to bring in love. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's describing me. And in that piece is that there's no fun. There's no time to have fun. You know, because you grew up early, you were like, dude, there's shit to do. You need to get things done. It's in survival mode. And at 50 years old, I've realized that I've just been always switched on to this idea of proving myself more, having to have more, being more successful, being in better shape, but actually never allowing anybody to love me or to celebrate it or to actually have fun with it. But that's why I also like to meditate and like to reconnect with myself, because what that does, it gives me space of peace and space to be objective about my life and a lot more. And so I become an avid meditator to give me that stillness, to try and look for the places that I am not finding fun in and trying to like add more fun into them. So it's something I really want to work on. But
you don't have any like hobbies though, hey? Like you don't play paddle or like golf. Like
travel.
You don't have.
For me, it's travel.
But travel is mostly work for you as well. Like
yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
No, I don't, Erik. You know, I really don't. Again, it's based on this idea that you have to keep proving yourself to the world and to yourself because of the way you brought up, you know. Look, as far as, for me, relaxation is about going to meditation retreats. And relaxation is once in a while allowing myself not to get out of my PJs. I love PJ days. Like waking up one day and just staying in your PJs all day. And just like, you know, just being a caveman. I love that. Yeah. I love that once in a while. But yeah, I need to work on it. I think it's a great topic. It's something I need to be more childlike with. And I think slowly but surely it's happening. My awareness of it is changing. So yeah, I think it's a great question. It's something I'm not very good at.
Yeah, and I also think there's something to, like, you've only really settled down for the last bit. Like, when did you move into your apartment in Dubai? It's been like a year or so, hey?
October, yeah. It's not even a year yet. Yeah,
not even a year. Yeah. So I think there's also been like, it's been very nomadic for you, and I think in that nomadicness, it's difficult to create hobbies that are tied to habits.
Yes.
Like, you know, after our session today, I'll be going to go play paddle, but it's because like it's set. You know, it's like I know I'm going to go play with these guys, so it makes it easier to engage.
I don't have that. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But I think,
I don't have
but I think now that you are a bit more settled in terms of having your apartment, I think that might start coming. Yes. I mean, we see pictures of you at the pool all the time, right? So, like, you are at least good at going to the pool and chilling.
I think my fun is having a six pack and walking around the pool. Yeah. That's my fun. Yeah. But I mean, talk about a reprobate behavior. But yeah, I mean, I'm at the pool every day in Dubai because of at 3-4 o'clock I want to go chill out, and that pool is world class. So yeah, I mean. Yeah, I guess I do have fun like that. I do, but you know what happens? I get into that pool, and you know what I do? I meditate. For the first 30 minutes of every pool session, I meditate. And it's so funny because if you have to see that pool, bro, there is a party going on. There's a DJ, there's people running around, champagne, and I'm sitting there meditating with blackout earphones so that nobody can, I can't hear anybody, and I'm meditating in front of everybody. So yeah, that's my idea of fun.
All right, next one. So let's go to personal and spiritual growth, because obviously that's a topic that is near and dear to your heart. I think you've done a lot of work around this in many different areas of your life. What has your journey with personal development been like? Let's go like with lately, because I think you have done a lot. We've covered a lot of like ayahuasca treatment ceremonies and things like that. So kind of where are you today? Having done all of them, and like, what does that practice look like for you today?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that the number one thing that self-development has taught me is to be not connected to your identity, is to not take everything that your identity has brought you to this place to keep you at this juncture of your personality and identity. It's like the whole point of development is to release parts of yourself that don't add value anymore.
So good.
And that's all it is. And the longer it's nothing to reach for. It's for things to release out of. We're already perfect in many ways, but we've created dogmas and thought processes that keep us stuck. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, people become addicted to lives they don't even like. And most people around the world are doing things they hate, and they're still doing them, and they don't know why they're doing them. And so for me, personal development has been how much more of the baggage that I've created or has been, because of my upbringing, how much more of that can I let go of? Am I John the Bachelor? And am I John? No, my identity must be fluid. And I've been doing a lot of work with a relationship coach right now who's helping me immensely. And I've just come back from my mom and dad's farm. And my mom and I had a deep, deep conversation around my upbringing. And it was such a huge release for me that it is very much part of the personal development of letting go of identity. And having that discussion with my mom has released me back to just being a boy, not the father of my brother, not the wife, husband of my mother, to play that role. And all of that's been because of self-development, because of having that coach, because of the meditation practice. And most importantly, is what parts of my identity do I need to let go of to evolve and to improve?
Yeah, that's so good. I was on a coaching session this morning with someone, and we were talking about, and I want to get your perspective on this as well. We were talking about authenticity and like, what does that mean? And he was like, yeah, like you look at guys like Donald Trump, for example, and he's just who he is, and like he just shows up however he shows up, and like it's so authentic, and it's so nice to see that. And I say to him, like, but what is the difference between like let's say that's who you are, but that's not who you could be. You could be so much better. But that being better means that you are evolving and changing. Does that then mean that all of a sudden you're not authentic anymore because you've grown into something else and something more? So that was it was an interesting question to sit with, because when you grow up, and your story illustrates this perfectly, all these things happen to you as a child and you internalize it, but you don't have the language to explain what's happening. And it just becomes latched onto who you are. And then at some point you realize, okay, now I have to unwind all of those patterns to actually figure out who I am. But then does that mean that you, without those patterns, are not your authentic self? Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know exactly what you're saying. Let me relate it in a different way. Is people say, trust your gut. And I say, no, your gut could be trauma. So what you're doing is you haven't processed your trauma. And now you're like, no, I'm just following my gut. I'm like, your gut is actually not healed. Your gut is following a broken pattern. And so, no. Do not follow your gut if you've got so much trauma behind you, because your gut will be telling you to kill everybody, to defend yourself from everybody, and not to trust the world. So then, yes, you're right. That is your gut. But it is your authentic version. It is. It's just coming from a low vibration. It's coming from a lack of trust and surrender into the process of life. And so, yes, I think it's absolutely authentic. I think it's just a low vibration authenticity. I think Donald Trump is an excellent example to talk about authenticity. And I think people relate to his authenticity just because he's saying whatever comes to mind. He doesn't have a filter system. He just blabs it out. I think there's a lot to be said for that authenticity, especially in the power place that he is. But the missing factor is that he has done zero healing. So he is a 8-year-old boy who never got any attention from his mom and dad. And today, it doesn't matter how much attention you give him and how much power he has, it's never going to be enough. He's being authentic. He's just being authentic from a place of pain, not a place of love, not a place of surrender, not a place of inclusivity, but a place of exclusivity. So I think the way to measure it is, how exclusive or inclusive are you in your approach, and how much of the bigger picture are you playing into, rather than just your own ideals and selfishness? Both are authentic. I don't think there's a lack of authenticity anywhere, but it's how much of I'm talking about this new thing called intelligence projectivity and intelligence receptivity. And I think it relates to this, where in the world that we come from, we had to study and then project our intelligence into the world to add value. Where we are moving to is that there's so much change happening. What you've known is almost becoming irrelevant. So what you need to move to is intelligence receptivity. And what that means is, how quickly can you engage with information receptively to digest it, ingest it, and then add value to the world? Big difference. Very, very big difference. And so if you think about what Donald Trump is, he's an intelligence projectivity based on a stuckness of emotional intelligence. And so what my answer to that is, he's not taking any new data points in. All he's doing is just regurgitating everything he's ever known and putting that out into the world. And we can see that because initially it's attractive because he's authentic. But in the long term, you can see that he has no friends. He only has enemies. He only wants to fight with everybody. And he actually, just like me in a way, doesn't know how to receive love. He just doesn't know. I mean, he's on an extreme case, you know?
Yeah. I think it's this idea of like, you are who you are. That's what authenticity kind of like comes down to. But who you are could also be better. And I think that's I'm wary that people use authenticity as a way of just going, oh, but this is just who I am. That to me is like the moment you go there, it tells me that you aren't willing to engage in the work that you need to do.
Yeah, there's no fluidity.
Have you heard of the ship of Theseus? Like,
tell me about it.
It's a thought experiment they did where they said, imagine that you have this big, beautiful ship and it's in a museum somewhere. And a few guys decide that they want to steal the ship, but they can't obviously just walk in and steal the ship. So they walk in and they'll steal it like one plank at a time. But what they do is they walk in, they steal a plank, they replace it with another plank. And then they walk in, they steal the steering wheel, but they replace it with another steering wheel. So like over time, you know, like over a course of 2 years, the ship of Theseus, the original, is like kind of sitting outside, but there's still a ship that's sitting inside of the building. And the point is like, is that the ship of Theseus or not?
Wow.
You know
nice.
What I mean? And so if you apply the same kind of thinking, you go, well, okay, that's your identity. And every time like you find a bit of plank that's not as strong as it could be, you replace it with something else. Then you take the steering wheel and you upgrade it to like a newer version. Then you take the mast and you add a better material. Over time, like that's still the ship of Theseus, but now it's just a much better and improved. It's still the authentic version of that ship, but it's just a much better and improved version of it. Anyway, I think we could talk about this for a long time. Obviously, like, you know, this kind of identity shifting stuff is things that interest us a lot. But I do think that's ultimately like the most important game to play is
there's nothing else.
There's
not fluidity in your identity. That's all. Like you are who you should be who you're going to be, not who you were.
Yeah.
You know, you should be moving to, you should be in your future memories, not your past memories. And so if you're stuck in your past memories because you're addicted to your identity, you're in trouble, bro. You're in trouble. Just it's as simple as that. You can't be malleable. Like imagine I said, oh, you know what? I'm just poor. That's just who I am. I'm just going to sit around and mope around money. Okay. Well, thanks very much.
Authentic.
Anybody
it's
running?
Authentic.
Yeah, it's exactly. I'm being super authentic, and I've decided to stay in Edenvale because that's where I feel most comfortable. That's it. That's my authenticity. You know what? Congratulations, you are, but you're not letting go of any fluidity. You're not. Yeah, you got no fluidity in your in your persona.
All right, excellent. Let's go and spin the wheel again. So this time, and we've covered this topic before: love and romance. We've covered it before. You've touched on it today, and what it's like. I know this year has been it's already been a big year for you in this topic, and there's been a lot of work that you've done, and it's been tough for you as well.
Going back to that podcast that you sent me, the guy said people like this, men like this, last only 7 to 8 months in relationships.
That's what I caught as well. This
Dude,
6 months. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so me. That is 100% me. And the reason he said is that your dopamine runs out and you think you're getting nothing out of the relationship. That's me. It's absolutely me. And the whole reason behind it is you've never learned how to receive love. And my mom said it and confirmed it with me. She said, yeah, because love has been given to you based on types of behavior that you have. It's not been fluid. You haven't been loved just because of you. You've been loved if you were more religious in my world. You were loved if you had better marks at school. You were loved if you looked after your brother. If you didn't do those, there's no love here for you. So I've created a persona that I didn't even know I'd created that is saying, well, you know, I don't need love. I'm just going to come in and service everybody else. I don't need any servicing because I'm fine. And so it's been a very, very tough part of my life. Because when I was married and got divorced, I felt like such a failure that I couldn't get it right. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I understand now because of the pain I went through my divorce. I'm like, I'm definitely going to get this right now. I got a new girlfriend, exactly the opposite to my ex-wife. I mean, 180 degrees different. I had to learn brand new lessons. I didn't do well. And since then, I've had 3-4 girlfriends that I go through the same pattern. And actually, Alida, my coach, and I were laughing because I was describing the patterning pretty much verbatim from my ex to this ex. And we started laughing. We're like, and she said, do you hear what you're saying? I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly. I'm falling into the same pattern. So I think for my 50s, I am going to apply myself like I applied myself with money in my 40s. I'm going to apply myself into relationships and intimacy. And I can promise you that over the next few years, I will be in the position to learn how to be loved. And that's going to be a big mission for me this year, this decade. So yeah.
It's such an interesting thing to say, to learn to be loved.
And you know what the first thing is, Erik, is to realize that you don't know how to be loved. Do you know what? That's very emotional, bro. It's very, very emotional. I've been an island my whole life, bro. And I didn't even know I was. It's a lonely existence without you realizing you're lonely. You're missing out on a deep, deep human need without realizing you're missing out on it. Because all I've done is intellectualize the emotion. In fact, my relationship coach says to me, you're not feeling this, you're just thinking it. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, sit with it in your body. I'm like, I didn't know how to do that. He's like, exactly. So yeah, I think this mission, it's a great question, and it's definitely an intention for this next decade.
Yeah, well done. I mean, that is a lot to work on, and I think it's also so difficult, these things, to actually confront yourself with it, because it's much easier just to shy away from the pain and the discomfort that it brings, to kind of look at it, which is why people struggle to make changes all the time. And so for you to be able to do that, I think it normalizes having to deal with challenges like that in your life. This Adam Lane guy is amazing, though. Hey, like his knowledge is like
on attachment styles. He's got 4 kids, huh? Yeah, 4 kids. What an incredible guy! Incredible guy. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
All right, I think let's do one more. So I'll give you an option here of 2. You can choose between one of the 2. You can choose between one of the 3: business and career, health, or friends and family.
Let's do health. Cool. Because I've really started to understand my health, and I've never been in better shape, as you know from my Instagram. I'm like 2 minutes away from posting one of those posts onto LinkedIn. I'm like, don't do it.
I was wondering why did I see that photo on Facebook and not on LinkedIn?
No, I can't. LinkedIn's not there yet.
But remember, it's not a thirst trap. It's a commitment trap.
Yes, I know, bro. But it's a thirst trap. Just between you and I, it's a thirst trap. It's actually, you know what it is? Erik? I think it's
context. Just tell people what. I mean, if I could, let me see if I can just show people what.
No, they know, but go onto my Instagram, you'll see it. There's a shirtless photo. And what I wrote about was the amount of commitment it's taken me to get there.
Shirtless photo.
Absolutely of course ripped. It's ripped.
Yes.
Obviously, you got that. I wouldn't have a shirt off. I wouldn't have a shirt off if it wasn't. Yes, thank you.
It's absolutely great photo. I'm not disputing that.
Yes, thank you.
There we go.
Yes. Wow, what a hunk. That's, if you're watching this on YouTube, you saw that. If you watch it on podcast, you just showed a picture of my picture on Instagram.
Lighting is a hey.
Yeah, we did that specifically for my 50th with my photographer.
That's great.
So look, what I've realized is that inflammation is the devil, and anything that makes you inflamed is not good for you. And so I've changed my diet to only eat things that don't inflame me. That has been the 100% focus of mine. And so what I've just started doing now is eggs, meat, avo, fruit. and some veg. That's it. I don't eat anything else. At night, sometimes I have some sugar, which I swear at myself in the morning that I'm never going to do again until the next night. And I have a little bit of a chocolate bar. In fact, I don't have any chocolates around me anywhere because I think that's going to protect me. And then I forget I have Uber Eats and I have Kareem. And so at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, just one chocolate, won't hurt anybody. And then at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, you idiot. Why'd you go and do that? Anyway. I've really learned a lot about my body. I've also become very, very sensitive to how my body operates because, and I speak about this, and I think you introduced me to it. Thank you so much for the 5 stages of courage. But what we've always done is we've always thought of courage as physical courage. And in physical courage, we've always thought that pushing yourself further than you should be going is an extension of physical courage. Like Iron Man or like Tony Robbins saying, yes, you can, push yourself more, wake up earlier, push harder. I actually think that's self-abuse. I don't think that's pushing yourself. That is another way for you to ignore what your body actually wants and to push it beyond itself, so that you think you're doing well and being courageous towards your body. I disagree. It's like, and I was saying to my personal trainer this morning, I was like, think about your dog. And he's just gotten a new dog, right? I said, think about your dog and imagine that you were working your dog as hard as you push yourself. He's like, I'll never do that. I said, exactly. Exactly. Your body is your pet, is your dog in this world. How you treat your body is how you treat the animal around you. And how would you love the dog next to you? With all of yourself, but then when it comes to your body, no, push more, squeeze more, drink more, push more. You're like, no, bro, treat it the way you love your dog. Treat it the same way. Walk it, be calm with it, feed it what it wants. And so the sensitivity around that, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, it makes absolutely total sense to me why I don't look like this photo of yours, because if I treat my body exactly like I treat Atlas, which is treat, snack.
Oh, you treat it, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay,
Makes sense.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
Yeah. No
sense.
wonder you're round, Erik. No
Yeah.
wonder you're looking round. Yeah.
Too many treats for you. That's so funny. Yeah. But look, I'm also a Jewish mother when it comes to dogs. I never stop feeding them, So I'm the same. So
maybe I'm just talking about the kindness towards the dogs. When it comes to food, I can't stop shoving biltong down their throats. In fact, my mom only buys chicken for the dogs on the farm. And one of the dogs has hurt her shoulder, and it's almost like she's got arthritis. So she takes a little bit of strain walking, and it takes a while to warm up. And then I took them biltong as a gift, which I always do whenever I go to anybody's house. I take the dogs biltong, and I gave the dogs biltong, and the dog was running around, bro. It was like, my mom's like, wow, I haven't seen this dog around. So then on my way home, I ordered 1,000 Rand worth of biltong from Takealot to be delivered to the farm, so that the dogs can just eat biltong from now on. And that's the thing. It's like, are you giving the best possible type of treats and the best possible, are you listening to your body? And I think, again, meditation has really brought me to that space of just having the space to be aware of my fitness and my health, and seeking out the people that can help me achieve ultimate health. And, I just did my bloods 2 weeks ago from everything, top to bottom, and I'm an absolute healthy. My doctor's like, fine. He's like, you actually don't need to be here. And that's really the consistent focus on the intelligence of the body, speaking to the body, listening to the body, and absolutely loving the way I'm feeling and the way I'm looking at the moment. So it's a big celebration for me at 50 to be like this.
Yeah, dude. And how many people can say that just in general, but how many people can say that at 50? And it's even like, it's weird because I think 50 used to be a much bigger milestone than it is today. I think we still carry the legacy of like, 50, like it's this huge thing. And I guess it's significant, but like you at 50 is very, very different to people in 1980 at 50. Vastly different. Even maybe not that long ago. Maybe even like at like the
Can I tell you something?
2000.
One of the Golden Girls. Remember that show?
Yes.
The grannies. Do you know how old one of them was? I can't remember how all of them were, but one of them, the one that was quite naughty. She was a cool one. I really liked it. I liked her character. She was 48 years old, bro.
No ways.
She was 48 at Golden Girls. What? You're like, excuse me? 48. I'm older than the Golden Girls. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But here we are.
Yeah, listen, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird it's significant and it is a milestone, but it's almost like, I think we used to think that like now you're really
Yeah.
old when you hit 50, whereas
Yeah.
now it's not that anymore. And congrats again on your birthday. And I think thank you for modeling well what it looks like to live a life of intention and bringing that intention to, if I look at this wheel of life, I can think of in all of these different areas how intentional you are being. Even just knowing you from the outside, I can like go through this and go, yes, like all of these, there's a level of intention. None of these are just coasting. So well done to that, and thank you for modeling it for the rest of us as well.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for that reflection point. I never really thought about it like that, but yes, my very, very close friends know it because they've seen it evolve because of that intentionality, and it's a 100% focus on that development of self. My friend was saying to me, "Do you realize you spent $140,000 on Dr. Joe over the last 5 years?" I was like, "Wow, that's almost like 3 million rand I've spent on development." And you just think about that investment. Other people bought cars and houses and watches. I didn't. I went and did these sort of things. So yes, I think that it's a result of that. So thank you for that reflection. I appreciate it.
Dude, great episode, and it was great to be back on air with you. We've kind of been missing each other because of traveling and internet issues and mic issues, but it's great to have been back on air to record an episode. I always feel better just in myself after we've recorded these episodes. I always feel a bit more energized, so thank you for that.
Me too.
And for everyone listening, it's great to be back on air with you as well. If you enjoy this pod, please make sure to share it with people that you love and care about. We are on a mission to help people be more expansive, and you sharing that is definitely part of helping us to do that. You can also check us out on Instagram, YouTube, like all the channels that you might expect to find us. We will be there. And of course, don't forget that if you want to read up about all of the insights that have been shared on the pod over the past 250 plus episodes, we've just recently compiled a best-selling book that you can go and buy. So as always, thank you, and we'll definitely see you again next week. John, take care, brother.
Thank you so much, man. Ciao. Until next week, be expansive. Bye.